Hello, everybody. This is Astrology for Mystics. Thank you so much for joining me as I am going to talk about mapping the missing in this video. When we think in terms of geometry and numbers, we understand that the concept of mathematical constants and geometric patterns appear repeatedly throughout the universe, which suggests a deep underlying structure and potentially a universal language that is being expressed through numbers and shapes. They're often explored in fields like sacred geometry and number theory. Here, I want to show you that this is also the way in which we can think about astrology and mapping the missing. Albert Einstein stated that when forced to summarize the general theory of relativity in one sentence, time and space and gravitation have no separate existence from matter. Mark Twain stated that the two most important days in your life are the day that you are born and the day you find out why. When I create a map to find the missing, I need time of birth, the birth city and state, and the birthday with year. I also need the time that the missing person was last seen and the exact location they were last seen at. Then I began to draw out the geometric angles that are connecting in degrees first. Gravitational pull via the planetary patterns in terms of geometric angles literally matter in the state of matter. As you can see on the right, the chart is very busy. I draw more than luminaries and planets. Why do I map more than just the luminaries and the planets? I do so because AMAP, a matterofperception.org, has on their website a 25-year study with luminaries and planets. And what I do is I seek to expand their great studies in order to test whether or not the missing can be found on a hypothetical line or even an asteroid line. In order to clearly know where a missing person can be located, it's highly important that the mapper understands how to read the ancient language of astrology. Without the wisdom of the language, mapping is pointless and it's a waste of time. Degrees in a birth chart and the event chart, like I said, literally matter in the state of matter. If an astrologer does not understand the importance of degree astrology, they are wasting their time. Time is always of the essence when someone goes missing. Astrology is a language that explains psychology. Carl Jung wrote, "Astrology represents the sum of all the psychological knowledge of antiquity." Hippocrates said, "A physician without knowledge of astrology has no right to call himself a physician." Kepler was convinced that planetary configurations, physically and mentally, affected human beings as well as the weather on Earth. Galileo created astrological charts for his family and students while teaching at the University of Padua. He also taught astrology to his medical students. Astrology supports personal growth, emotional well-being, and compassionate connection. Therefore, connections that are made during a missing event literally matter in the state of matter. The geometric angles are expressing a behavior. Each angle is telling a story, and it tells a story of either working well together with a trine or in an opposing force that's a lot more challenging. Each angle of expression must be analyzed by the astrologer who is mapping the missing person. Ask a physicist, and they'll tell you the universe speaks in numbers. Astronomers use the scientific method, mathematics, and chemistry to study the universe. Astrologers use astronomical calculations. And some of us, including myself, use the scientific method to prove human behavior as well as connections that are being made. For example, Paul Dirac was an English mathematical and theoretical physicist who is considered to be one of the founders of quantum mechanics. Paul was born in England and he moved to Florida. Paul's birth chart shows numbers, these degrees that connect to both England, the United States, as well as Florida. These connections show he brought in money in Florida, and it also shows his relationship with both countries. If I were looking for Paul, I would immediately look in Florida because of his birth chart degrees that also match Florida. We need to learn how to see. Only then will we realize that everything connects to everything else. Finally, I want to leave you guys with this most important fact. And the fact is that mapping the missing is an ongoing study. There is no scientific evidence. There's no patterns to be found yet with the study of mapping the missing. If there is a pattern science to be found, I am determined to find it.